Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the series of how I learned Python from Java. And today's video is a part two of encapsulation. And what we are going to talk about is associated with hiding variables. Yes, why do we hide our variables? It's not only because we have to hide our sensitive information of the class from outside source, but also to prevent a certain variable being used outside of the class. So, well, what I mean by that, why don't we just keep a certain variable free to everywhere? Well, let me give you some example. So in this init method, I'm gonna create uh, another variable called row, and we're gonna assign a row for it. And here we're gonna create another parameter for it. That's row. And here we want to assign a variable called row and make it, for example, a main. And we have to bring this row into this user class, which is user1, and we can print this row out and print a main here. Yeah, it sounds like very handy, but which is what we don't want. And the reason is we don't want our variable declared inside the class accessible to outside. So why do we do that? Imagine today if you want to check if the certain user is admin, we kind of like declare if statement for it, saying user underscore dot row equal to admin, then you print true, otherwise you print false. Let me create some space here so you can see well. So if we run it, because the row here is admin, so it's kind of like checking if the user one's row is admin, it prints true, otherwise it prints false. So if I run it, you give the true here. But sometimes, well, in a real case, a certain programs is not developed by just single person. It's developed but by a group. So sometimes some programmer will make some typing errors, like admins with double earn in the end. And once if we want to check by print it out, it prints false. And we kind of like check, okay, our routes here is correct. And anything here is fine. Why it return false? So we can kind of like check if statement here is to seek for this error here, which is double and in the end of admins, and fix it. It returns truth, which is fine. We've got only 25 lines in our program, but in real case, there are tons of thousands of lines in a certain program. So once you're probably going to check back kind of like 100 lines to figure out this typing error. It wastes a lot of time and effort, which is what we don't want, and that's why we have to control our variable within the class being used within the class, not outside. So by doing this, we have to make our variable private. If you ever learned Java before, in Java it's kind of like declare, for example, like declare user class here, and then we create a private variable, which is row, and in the constructors we assigned a row and bring it into this row. So this row here is parameter, this row here is variable. So we kind of assign this parameter into this variable. That's how Java does. And in Python, we have a double underscore principle to make this variable private. And so right now, if I want to print this out, it says user object has no attribute of double underscore row, which is what we want. We kind of control this row variable within the class. And now, if we want to check if the certain user is admin, we have to declare another method within the class, say that which is admin, and we bring self, and so we can bring this if statement in to this method. Let me just reformat it. So we can change this user to self with double underscore row, and instead of printing, we can return true, and this one return false. And then if we want to make it work, we have to use this method is admin, and if we run it, it returns true, because here our role of this underscore one user is admin. And then we can make some typing error here. Run it again. It returns false. So first we check back from the variable assigned to the row is correct, and we use is the admin method, and we check back is admin method. So check this if statements, or we figured out, oh, we've got double earned in the end of admins, so fix it. Run it again, it returns true. This is why we have to kind of control or accessibility of a certain variable within the class, not outside the class. So, well, I think that's enough for this video today. I'll see you next one. Bye bye.